Heartbreaking. Erin Bates arrests Chad Pine. Bates can't hold back tears, bringing up Bates family update. Loudly crying face. Hello friends, I am Elena. Welcome to my channel. For the latest news update, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. The Bates family, beloved for their warmth, wholesomeness, and their popular reality series Bringing Up Bates, has been through countless challenges over the years. Yet nothing could have prepared fans for the shocking turn of events involving Erin Bates and the heartbreaking emotions expressed by her husband, Chad Pine. What unfolded recently not only shook the family to its core but also stirred deep emotions across their loyal fan base. Erin's arrest, an event many thought they'd never witness in relation to this famously faith-driven family, has brought a storm of speculation, confusion, sorrow, and soul-searching within the community of followers who have cherished the Bateses for years. This story is one of heartbreak, resilience, and the sobering reminder that even those who appear to embody perfection can face moments of unimaginable struggle. To understand the impact, one must first revisit the family's background, their public journey, and the extraordinary bond between Erin and Chad that has made this crisis all the more devastating. The Bates family rose to fame as a Tennessee-based Christian family with 19 children, who became household names through Bringing Up Bates, a reality series that showcased their values, their daily routines, their faith, and their unwavering sense of togetherness. Fans admired how Gil and Kelly Jo Bates raised their large family with love and discipline while navigating financial struggles, personal dreams, and big milestones. What made the Bates family especially beloved was their transparency. Unlike many reality TV families, they presented their flaws and triumphs with honesty. Erin, one of the Bates daughters, quickly became a fan favorite thanks to her kind spirit, musical talents, and inspiring devotion to her faith and family. Her marriage to Chad Pine became one of the standout storylines of the show. Their love, deeply rooted in shared values, often felt like a storybook romance, one that inspired young couples and reminded audiences of the beauty of a Christ-centered partnership. From the moment Erin stepped into the public eye, she was recognized as the heart of the Bates daughters. She wasn't just beautiful and graceful, she was talented and resilient. Erin's journey included her struggles with multiple health complications, including recurrent miscarriages. These heartbreaking losses would have crushed many, but Erin leaned on her faith and her husband, Chad, to persevere. Fans watched with joy as she eventually welcomed healthy children into the world, turning her sorrow into joy. She became an advocate for women dealing with pregnancy loss, inspiring countless mothers who had felt isolated in their grief. Her ability to combine vulnerability with strength made her one of the most respected figures within the Bates family. Adding to her reputation was her artistry. Erin's skills as a pianist and singer were central to her identity, as she used music not only as a career path but as a ministry. Through her melodies, she spread messages of hope, healing, and unwavering trust in God. With this background in mind, the idea of Erin being involved in an arrest seemed almost impossible. Yet life often delivers blows that defy expectations. News broke suddenly, catching everyone off guard. Headlines read, "Erin Bates arrested. Fans in shock as details remain unclear." The first reports offered little clarity, but the impact was immediate. Social media erupted with speculation, questions, and disbelief. For years, Erin had been viewed as a model of integrity and faithfulness. To hear her name associated with legal trouble seemed surreal. First, fans wondered if it was a misunderstanding, perhaps an issue of mistaken identity or a trivial incident blown out of proportion. Yet as confirmations came in, it became undeniable. Erin Bates had indeed been arrested. What exactly had happened remained a point of debate. Some reports hinted at a misunderstanding involving financial paperwork related to a charity project. Others suggested it may have been linked to a traffic-related matter that escalated unexpectedly. Whatever the cause, the fact that Erin had to face law enforcement and legal procedures was enough to rock the Bates family's world. If Erin's arrest was shocking to fans, it was devastating to her husband. Chad Pine, known for his gentle, steadfast, and emotional nature, could not hide his tears as the news spread. In an emotional family gathering, Chad reportedly broke down, struggling to process how such a thing could happen to the woman he loved more than life itself. Chad's reputation as the quiet strength of the Bates family made his vulnerability even more poignant. This was a man who had always been the rock for Erin, supporting her through health crises, miscarriages, and the pressures of public life. For Chad to crumble emotionally revealed just how deeply this event cut him to the core. Witnesses close to the family described Chad as inconsolable, often holding back tears during conversations and praying fervently for strength. His heartbreak wasn't only about the public scandal, it was about watching the woman he cherished go through humiliation, fear, and pain. The Bates family, known for standing together through thick and thin, rallied around Erin and Chad during this crisis. Parents Gil and Kelly Jo were described as heartbroken but firm in their commitment to support their daughter. Siblings offered their love and reassurance, refusing to let the scandal destroy the bond that had been their strength for decades. While the public speculated about fractures within the family, those close to the Bates insisted that this challenge only drew them closer together. The family's strong Christian values also shaped their response. They viewed Erin's arrest not as the end of her story but as a trial through which God's mercy and purpose would eventually shine. What stood out was the lack of judgment. Unlike many public scandals, this one was met with empathy rather than ridicule. Fans who had followed Erin and Chad's journey for years felt as though they were part of the family, and their instinct was to lift them up rather than tear them down. Messages of encouragement, Bible verses, and prayers filled Erin's social media comment sections. Beyond the headlines, the arrest had a ripple effect on Erin and Chad's daily lives. Friends noted how Erin, once the embodiment of optimism, struggled with visible stress. She worried not only about the legal consequences but about the impact this would have on her children. Chad, meanwhile, faced the burden of being strong while dealing with his own pain. His tears, though raw and visible, symbolized the immense weight he was carrying as a husband and father. Together, they leaned heavily on faith. Their home reportedly became a sanctuary of prayer, where every morning and night they sought divine guidance to navigate the storm. The Bates family had long been familiar with the attention of the press, but this scandal invited a different kind of spotlight. Tabloids sensationalized the story, while more respectable outlets tried to piece together the facts. This scrutiny placed additional stress on Erin, who valued her privacy and modesty. Suddenly, her name was in headlines for reasons she never imagined, and she had to face the possibility of her children growing up with this memory attached to their mother's identity. Though the ordeal remains ongoing, those closest to Erin believe this chapter will not define her. Mistakes, misunderstandings, or even injustices can happen to anyone, but the way a person rises from them is what truly matters. Erin has already begun channeling her emotions into her music, pouring her heartbreak into new compositions that reflect her struggles and her faith. Fans who have heard snippets of her work describe it as some of her most moving music yet, raw, vulnerable, and drenched in the hope of redemption. Chad, though still emotional, has stood firmly by her side. His tears, though heartbreaking, also serve as a testament to the depth of his love and loyalty. Their marriage, though tested, appears stronger than ever in the face of adversity. As the Bates family moves forward, they do so with lessons learned and faith renewed. The arrest may have been a shocking event, but it has also become a reminder that perfection is an illusion. Even families built on strong faith can face crises. For Erin, the road ahead may be challenging, but she remains committed to her family, her music, and her faith. For Chad, his role as a loving husband and father has never been clearer. And for the Bates family as a whole, this moment of heartbreak may ultimately serve as a catalyst for deeper unity and resilience. The heartbreaking ordeal of Erin Bates' arrest and Chad Payne's visible tears has marked a difficult chapter in the Bringing Up Bates family's story. Yet through it all, what shines brightest is the love, faith, and resilience that continue to define them. While the world watches in shock, Erin and Chad continue to cling to hope, proving that even in the darkest of storms, the light of love and faith can never be extinguished. This update is not just about a scandal. It's about humanity, vulnerability, and the reminder that behind the cameras and headlines, the Bates family is just like any other, imperfect, struggling, but unbreakable when bound by love. Erin Bates Payne, the beloved reality TV star from the hit series Bringing Up Bates, has long been admired for her gentle spirit, strong faith, and devotion to her family. Fans have followed her journey from the joyful days of courtship and marriage to Chad Payne, to the blessings of motherhood as she welcomed child after child into their ever-growing family. However, recent months have brought unimaginable challenges for Erin as she faced a terrifying health crisis that shook both her and her loved ones to the core. Now, after hospitalization, postpartum complications, and even a battle with temporary leg paralysis, Erin has bravely revealed that she has finally taken her very first steps again. This news has brought tears of relief and overwhelming joy to her fans, her family, and her supportive husband, Chad, who has remained faithfully by her side through every difficult moment. In this script, we will walk through Erin's heartbreaking ordeal, the medical struggles she faced, the emotional toll on her family, and the triumphant update that she is beginning to recover. It is a story of faith, perseverance, family love, and the resilience of the human spirit. To understand the depth of her struggle, it's important to remember who Erin has always been to her fans. Known as one of the most musically gifted members of the Bates family, Erin often brought joy to audiences with her piano performances and uplifting presence on Bringing Up Bates. Married to Chad Payne in 2013, Erin embraced her role as wife and mother with grace. Together, they welcomed several children, building a household full of laughter, love, and faith-centered values. Erin often shared about the ups and downs of parenting, but her radiant smile and nurturing heart always shined through. Fans saw her as the epitome of a supermom, balancing motherhood, ministry, and music with seemingly endless energy. That image made her sudden health collapse even more shocking. After the birth of her latest child, Erin began experiencing complications that left her and her doctors deeply concerned. Postpartum recovery can be difficult for any mother, but Erin's situation took a terrifying turn when she began to lose feeling in her legs. What began as numbness quickly escalated into something far more serious. She experienced partial paralysis. For someone so active, so devoted to caring for her children, the sudden inability to walk felt like her world had collapsed. Chad rushed her to the hospital, where specialists began running tests. The family remained tight-lipped in the earliest days, with only whispers circulating among fans about Erin's health. However, behind closed doors, the reality was heartbreaking. Erin, a young mother with a household of little ones, was suddenly confined to a hospital bed, unable to move her legs freely. The doctors warned that her recovery would be long and uncertain. After numerous examinations, doctors confirmed that Erin had developed a rare complication connected to her postpartum recovery that had caused paralysis in her legs. This condition, though not permanent for all patients, can take months or even years of rehabilitation to overcome. For Erin, the news was crushing. She worried not only for herself but for her children. How could she care for them if she couldn't walk? How would Chad manage the weight of providing for their family while also caring for her during her recovery? The diagnosis placed the family at a crossroads, one that would test their faith like never before. Throughout Erin's ordeal, one figure has remained steadfast: her husband, Chad. Known for his gentle, quiet strength, Chad became Erin's rock during this time. He took on the responsibilities of parenting, household management, and caregiving without complaint. More importantly, he provided Erin with constant emotional reassurance, reminding her that she was not a burden but a blessing, even in her weakest moments. Erin has spoken openly about how deeply she leaned on Chad during this crisis. She credited him with lifting her spirits when she felt like giving up and for being the steady anchor their children needed when their mother was absent or struggling. For fans, Chad's devotion has been a living example of the vows in sickness and in health, and many praised him for showing the world what true partnership looks like. While the physical paralysis was devastating, the emotional toll was equally crushing for Erin. As a mother, not being able to carry, chase, or even walk alongside her children was heartbreaking. She often cried quietly in her hospital room, thinking about the little moments she was missing: the hugs at bedtime, the laughter around the dinner table, the joy of simply being mom. She admitted that there were days when despair threatened to overtake her hope. But even in those darkest moments, Erin leaned on her faith. She prayed constantly, turning to Scripture for comfort. Verses about perseverance, healing, and God's unfailing love became her lifeline. Her family, too, rallied around her. The Bates clan is known for their closeness, and siblings, parents, and in-laws all stepped in to help care for the Payne children and provide support during Erin's recovery. Months passed with little progress, but Erin never gave up. With the encouragement of her medical team, Chad, and her family, she began physical therapy. The exercises were grueling, small, painful movements designed to retrain her muscles and nerves. There were setbacks. Days when her body refused to respond. Days when she wondered if she would ever walk again. But there were also breakthroughs, moments when her toes moved, when she could lift her legs just slightly, when hope returned. Finally, the day came when Erin was able to stand with assistance and take her first steps. Though small and shaky, those steps represented an enormous victory. When she shared the update publicly, fans around the world rejoiced. Social media flooded with prayers, congratulations, and messages of love. Her bravery had inspired thousands who were also facing struggles of their own. Though Erin is far from fully recovered, the fact that she has begun walking again is a powerful sign of progress. She has expressed deep gratitude for the prayers and support she has received, crediting both God's grace and the encouragement of her family for helping her reach this point. Her journey is still ongoing. Rehabilitation will continue, and there may be more challenges ahead. But Erin has shown that she is not defined by her suffering. She is defined by her resilience, her faith, and her refusal to give up. Chad and the children remain by her side, cheering her on with every small victory. The Bates family continues to surround her with love, and fans remain hopeful that she will one day fully recover. Erin's story is not only about health struggles, it is also a powerful testimony of faith in action. By sharing her pain and triumphs, she has encouraged others facing their own medical battles to keep going, to cling to hope, and to believe that brighter days are ahead. She has openly acknowledged that there were moments she wanted to quit, but she has chosen to see even her suffering as a way to glorify God. Her willingness to be vulnerable has resonated deeply with fans who admire her honesty and courage. As Erin takes more steps toward recovery, her story is becoming one of legacy. She is showing her children that strength is not about never falling but about rising after every fall. She is teaching them that love and faith can carry a family through any storm. For the world, she has become a symbol of perseverance, a reminder that even when life takes away something as basic as the ability to walk, the human spirit can adapt, fight, and overcome. While Erin's future remains uncertain in some ways, her determination leaves no doubt that she will continue to fight for her health. Fans eagerly await each update, cheering her on from afar and praying for her complete healing. Her journey is not just her own, it is shared by all who have watched her grow up on television, build her family, and now face her greatest challenge with dignity and courage. The story of Erin Bates Payne's postpartum paralysis and recovery is one that touches the heart. It is filled with pain, uncertainty, love, faith, and triumph. By revealing that she has finally taken her first steps, Erin has given hope not only to her family but also to countless fans who see in her story a reflection of their own struggles. Erin Bates Payne, beloved star of Bringing Up Bates, has captured hearts for years with her faith, grace, and resilience. Known as one of the most musically gifted members of the Bates family, Erin's story has taken a dramatic and emotional turn in recent years. Fans who have followed her journey know that her life has been filled with both joyous moments as a wife and mother, as well as heartbreaking health struggles that few could have predicted. Today, Erin is making headlines again, but this time for a positive reason. Through a terrifying battle with sepsis that left her hospitalized and fighting for her life, Erin has officially marked a major milestone in her recovery. For Erin, life has never been without challenges, but sepsis was by far one of the scariest battles she had ever faced. Sepsis, a life-threatening response to infection, came unexpectedly after complications she endured postpartum. For weeks, fans held their breath as updates trickled out about her condition. Times it seemed the road ahead would be impossible to walk, especially since Erin also faced leg paralysis following her health crisis. The thought of a vibrant, energetic, music-loving mother of 5 suddenly unable to stand on her own was heartbreaking, both for her family and her supporters. But Erin refused to give up. With the support of her husband, Chad Payne, her children, and her extended family, Erin leaned on her faith and her determination. Every day brought small victories, first regaining strength, then beginning to take steps again, and eventually working with physical therapy to overcome the paralysis that had once threatened her independence. Fans around the world rallied behind her, sending messages of encouragement and prayers, knowing that Erin's journey was not just about her physical health, but also about her spirit and her will to push forward. The milestone she has now reached is nothing short of remarkable. Erin has officially completed her most intensive phase of recovery and rehabilitation, and she has made progress that many doctors initially thought would take far longer. In her own words, she describes the milestone as a miracle, acknowledging that while modern medicine and therapy played a huge role, she credits her faith and the unyielding support of her family as the foundation for her progress. This moment is especially meaningful because Erin has always been someone who found joy in the simple things, playing the piano, teaching her children, and creating music that inspired others. When she was hospitalized, there was a point when no one knew if she would ever return to the life she loved. The fear that she might never again sit at a piano, or that she might always struggle to walk without assistance, was real. Yet today, Erin has not only returned to some of those passions but has also used her journey as a testimony of resilience and hope. Chad has been by her side every step of the way, and their relationship has only grown stronger through the trials. He has spoken openly about how difficult it was to watch his wife suffer, but also about how proud he is of her strength. Couple, who are raising 5 children, had to adjust their lives significantly during Erin's health battle. There were days when Chad had to balance caring for the kids with supporting Erin's medical needs. Now, as Erin reaches this major milestone, the entire family is celebrating, not only because of her physical improvements but also because of the reminder that perseverance and love can get them through the darkest times. For Erin, this milestone also represents a turning point. She has begun to cautiously embrace a more normal routine, spending more time with her children, resuming light work, and even returning to her piano. Though her health journey is not completely over, there are still follow-up appointments, ongoing therapies, and a need for careful monitoring. She has reached a stage where she can look forward with hope rather than fear. The Bates family, known for their close-knit relationships, has rallied around her in a beautiful way. Her parents, Gil and Kelly Jo Bates, have expressed deep gratitude for Erin's recovery, often reminding fans how prayer and support carried them through this chapter. Erin's siblings, many of whom also star in Bringing Up Bates,